What's in the stars and the cards ahead for you this week? It is a turning point. We've just moved through a beautiful big eclipse, a new moon solar eclipse in Virgo. How are you feeling? One of the things that I've noticed, and you'll have to let me know in the comments if you picked up on this too, is that lunar eclipses and solar eclipses, they affect us differently. So 2 weeks ago, when we had that lunar eclipse, it was a beautiful, bright full moon. And well, it wasn't a bright full moon. Can't literally was well for us where I was in the northern hemisphere. I couldn't see the eclipse happening. But what happens is whenever you have a full moon, it's more emotional. It's focused on the moon. It's focused on your feelings, your intuition. And so therefore, the lunar eclipses, the full moon eclipses are very personal. We really feel them, we internalize them, as opposed to the solar eclipses where the sun blocks the moon's light. What ends up happening is that we end up getting this new moon experience. Holy cannoli, did I say that right? Can't square delete. I think I need a moment to ground. I was rushing to get here and I feel really discombobulated and my brain is all mixed up. So this is energy action or energy practices in action. So you can see. So if you're watching with me live, you might have to pause and go back. If you're watching the replay, then by all means, just kind of notice the way my energy was in the beginning as it is right now. Because here's what I love to do. I love to teach you how to harness the energy that's all around you. And I feel a little bit of chaos this morning. I had a last minute phone call. I've got a family member who's ill. So I'm trying to juggle all the things and be very present, but my mind is thinking about 100 different things. So here's what I'm going to invite you to do along with me. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath, 3 deep belly breaths, and bring your awareness into your solar plexus. And as you bring your attention right there to your belly, anything, any burdens, any weight, any stresses that you've been carrying on your shoulders, maybe you've been running around this morning, maybe it's a little bit of ecliptic chaos energy left over. We're going to just slowly bring through a beautiful violet and golden light. And you're grounded. So those deep belly breaths help to ground you. You can do a deeper grounding practice if you wish. That's it. And anything along the back, just bringing through a supportive energy to clear those connections that are distracting, draining, and causing confusion. There we go. And now imagine a beautiful column of light that runs from the center of the heavens down through the crown of the head, down through the head itself, the throat, the heart, the upper belly, down through the solar plexus, lower belly, breathe. All the way down through pelvic floor, between the legs, through 6 layers of earth, topsoil. That's it. Subsoil. A layer of granite, a layer of fire, crystals. Breathe. Magma. Until this beautiful column of light gets to the very core of Mother Earth, the heartbeat, where the Schumann resonance emanates from. That's it. Breathe. When anything that's in your space that isn't serving you, simply flush it to the earth where it'll be recycled into something of great beauty. And then imagine a beautiful golden light. You're standing underneath the sunshine. It just washes over the entire body, filling the spaces you've emptied. Good. And take a breath. And with the gaze towards your heart, slowly, slowly come back to this present moment, opening your eyes as you're ready. Can you feel the difference? There's a chaos in the air. Holy cannoli. And I know that here stateside, even though it's many thousands of miles away from me, there was an earthquake in California. So sending all happy thoughts and prayers and Just holding visions of everybody okay. All of our friends who are watching from San Francisco area. I have a cousin out that way. There's a lot going on, and it's hard to be present, and it's hard to be discerning and to be sharp. And today, as the sun is moving into Libra, we've got the autumnal equinox, and happy birthday, my Libra friends. This is a great day to find balance and to discover when you're out of balance. So if you're looking for a grounding practice, this is a 2-minute guided audio that you can listen to. You can find it here, irenamiller.co/get calm. It's just my gift to you that enables you to quickly, and you can do it even faster than 2 minutes. I just really walk you through in that, to quickly come back to center. And again, if you're watching the replay of this, you can watch this moment now and even kind of rewind back to the beginning to see the difference in the energy. And that's really cool. You know, what I love to do is I love to make the invisible world visible. There's energy swirling around us all the time, whether we see it or not, whether it's radio waves, 5G, you know, whatever it might be, X-ray, it's around us. Doesn't mean we're going to necessarily always see it or be able to touch it, feel it, or know that it's there, but it doesn't mean that it's not there. We just haven't been able to attune ourselves to pick up on these subtleties yet. And we wouldn't want to pick up on everything. I mean, that would be completely overwhelming. And sometimes as an empath or an intuitive, we pick up on so much that we can't function well. We don't want to be in crowds. We don't want to be around loud noises or chaos because we feel so much. So a grounding practice like this enables you to maintain a healthy energetic field so you can be out there in the world still sensing and knowing and picking up on things without absorbing them or becoming overwhelmed by them. So I highly encourage you, check this out. It's one of my most requested practices, the irenamiller.co/get calm. Okay, and let me redo of our initial beginning, talking about the lunar and solar eclipses. Here's what I want to say. Lunar eclipses, like the one we had 2 weeks ago that are attached to the full moon, they're very personal. We feel it more on an emotional level because that full moon, so to speak, is shining a light on the areas that normally have been hidden in the shadows. So it's a very internal, personal, emotional experience. The solar eclipses are more external. It's about a new beginning. It's about a shift. And yesterday, on Sunday, September 21st, 2025, we had the new moon in Virgo eclipse. And this, I'm curious if you could notice a difference. I know that I personally did. 2 weeks ago, that lunar eclipse was very emotional. I did take it very personally. It hit me hard. This one, not so much. I was with a wonderful, amazing group studying at the feet of an incredible astrologer, learning more about karmic astrology. And we were together during the eclipse, did a little meditation, and it was beautiful. And it did feel much larger. It did feel external, like we're getting ready to put something in motion to bring out to the world. So just to become aware of those subtleties can already shift your ability to work with the energy around you much, much more. So I mentioned briefly, it is the autumnal equinox for us here in the Northern Hemisphere. For our friends in the Southern, happy vernal or spring equinox. It's a great day to celebrate. We've got equal light and equal dark. So if you do that egg trick, let me know. Have you heard of the egg trick where you set it up on its end and let it see if it can be balanced? It's always interesting to kind of play with that. But it's a time for clarity. It's a time for finding the sweet spot. And when I say the sweet spot, what I mean is balance, but enjoying the ride. Because the cool thing about the Libra energy is that they've come here to learn how to balance. And it can be a lot of fun. So if you've ever done a yoga pose like tree pose, or really any pose in yoga, we learn how to balance. We learn how the slightest little shift, like a deep breath, might cause us to fall, or the collapsing of an arch, or not engaging our buns. It can be a great moment of just awareness and exploration. So I encourage you, have some fun with that. So this is a week, if we look at the overarching energy of the week, the energy is building. So we had the dark new moon, and now the moon's going to get brighter and brighter and brighter. It's waxing. And as the light grows, our energy starts to grow a little bit more. And we start to feel this momentum of, I'm ready to put action and energy into something, especially with Mars moving into Scorpio. And I want to get, he's just moved in, 3:54 a.m. this morning. You might find that you have a little bit more drive. You have a little bit more. When I say ambition, it's just like, I'm going to go for this. I'm putting my mind to it. And whenever I put my mind to it, I'm going to get done. So while Mars is here in the Scorpio energy, ride that wave. And if there's been a dream planted in your heart, start to pursue it. And if you can't quite visualize that dream, work on your imagination muscle, because remember, if you can't imagine it or visualize it, you can't really manifest it or co-create it. So we need to get that imagination muscle strong, and then we need to really be present in our body in order to have the strength, the physical strength to bring this idea through. Okay, let's jump in to the week ahead, before I go day by day, what I wanted to do is something a little bit different. I want to segment out the week just for a second, because, when I was talking about days to take action, I want to make this as accessible and practical as I can, these energy weather reports for you. So when you're planning your week ahead, you kind of get a feel of, okay, this is when to do different things. But Monday and Tuesday, it really is about harmony, because the sun's moving into Libra. So you have that equinox energy, and Mars in Scorpio, there's a lot of passion and courage. Tuesday is a day where you might feel a little bit of overwhelm. Might feel like, I've been wearing these rose-colored glasses. I need to really figure out who I am and where my dream falls into this picture. Because sometimes we might have a dream that the world doesn't understand, or we might not be able to visualize it or picture it very well. But Tuesday afternoon, if I look at my notes, it's Tuesday night, 11, hold on. It says the moon goes void, of course. I want to get the right time. I was looking at the wrong day. I knew it. So Tuesday, the 23rd afternoon, the moon goes void, of course, and it's void, of course, the rest of the day. So avoid signing contracts and avoid getting yourself worked up in meetings, or, tied up in meetings, probably the way that I should say it. When the moon is void, of course, nothing really comes of it. So that Tuesday afternoon energy, you're going to find that it's good for reflecting, journaling, tying up loose ends on projects, maybe cleaning, a part of your office or your house, depending on where you are. But think of it as a time to reflect and wrap things up, not to start new things. If you want something to fall apart or not to come to be, you can schedule it during a void moon. So sometimes, we have to call people or say things, and we're just like, if I just give this time and space, it'll probably work itself out, but I have to respond, and I don't want anything to come of it. Do it Tuesday afternoon, because the moon's void all the way until Wednesday morning, in the wee hours, like at 5 a.m. So Tuesday afternoon, great day to do that. But the beginning of the week is about finding a rhythm and a balance. Then the mid part of the week, Wednesday through Friday, this is where you might find yourself really becoming more focused, more intense as the moon moves into Scorpio. You might find yourself really seeking, well, I shouldn't say seeking, it's more like uncovering the truth. It's almost like answers come to you. The cool thing about the Scorpio energy is they always find the truth. So even if somebody's been pulling the wool over their eyes, including themselves, the truth comes out. And there's transformation that occurs when we have access to the truth. It's a great time as well to do what they call shadow work. Look at the parts of ourselves that maybe we keep hidden in the shadows, or maybe the old hurts and harms, and to bring them out so that we can do some healing work on them to heal and be able to move forward. I'm going to encourage you that, let's see, which day is it? Thursday. I'm trying to look at my notes. Thursday, when the moon is void, of course. It's not Thursday. I had a feeling it wasn't. It's Friday. Friday, the moon goes void, of course, at 1:44 till about 5:37 p.m. On Friday, like that late Friday afternoon, you might want to kick off a little bit early from work. You might want to take a little bit of a break. Give yourself a chance to pause. Don't schedule any important meetings for Friday afternoon. That's kind of a given with the way things go, but you never know. Sometimes when we're in a crunch. This enables you to really get into the rhythm of the week, because by the time we get to the weekend, when the moon moves into Sagittarius, there's going to be an optimism, a playfulness, a desire to get out and to just have fun. So let's break down the days day by day, or break down the week day by day is how I should say it. Holy cannoli. I need a lot more energy work today, I think. I didn't get to do my regular practice this morning. I got an unexpected phone call. So you can see this is where then we lean back into our training, because we don't always have the luxury of doing a half hour or a 15-minute or even sometimes a 5-minute practice. So you need to know the tips that can center you quickly. Another one, you take your hand and just trace from the thumb, using the back of the thumb, from the center of the forehead down to the heart. And you do that 3 times. And that's another way to bring you back into the moment. Okay. So Monday, the moon is in Libra and the sun goes into Libra. So it's like extra Libra energy, finding equanimity, balance, partnership, harmony. So Monday's a great day for reaching out to people, for forming partnerships, or reaching out to friends, being a little social. Maybe you feel a little bit more like talking. Libra is an air sign. So if you're feeling a little bit airy-fairy, like up in the air, ground. I think I really need that today as a Libra sun myself. More grounding today. What you can do is you can use it as a day for planning, for networking, catching up, reaching out to old clients, old friends, future, connections. But think of yourself like the little bit of a social butterfly. And we're going to ask, how can you make the most of this energy? And I'm just shuffling here. 8 of Cups, know when to walk away. Know when to walk away from something. The thing about the Libra energy that sometimes they get a bad rap for, and let's see if I can get this to focus a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Is that the Libra energy, it's not so much a people pleaser, but it really, as a symbolic representation of justice and of the scales, takes into account everybody's perspective of their story. And when they look to the right and they say, oh yeah, I can hear and I can understand what you're saying, you make a good point. And they look to the left and they say, yeah, I can understand what you're saying. That, you make a good point. That's valid. And what they're trying to do then is they're trying to come to a point of compromise, or a point where all parties know that they've been heard and some kind of justice is arrived at. Sometimes that's word is compromise. But because of this, sometimes they get the bad rap of being people pleasers. Or even it's one of those things where they're thought of as being indecisive. It's just that they're taking all stories into account, taking all feelings and thoughts, and then coming to a judgment or to an understanding. So with this energy, know that sometimes, even though you might have that ability to see all the sides of an issue or a problem, you might just have to walk away from something. There might not be a moment for compromise. There might be a moment where you have to recognize your own feelings and needs and honor those. Very, very interesting for Monday. Okay, Tuesday. So Tuesday, the moon is still in Libra, but it goes void, of course, midday. So right after noon, it goes void. And when it goes void, that's that time where you're being encouraged, reflect, rest. The moon's not doing anything. You shouldn't be either, meaning anything brand new. We got to keep living. We got to keep working. So we're just doing, the basics, wrapping things up, maybe a little bit of tidying and whatnot. And how to make the most of it. Look at this. We get the card of balance, 2 of Pentacles. I love it. So maybe it's a time to look at, look at things and just kind of make an assessment. Maybe you write a list of, here's where I'm pouring my energy and here's what's draining me. You might feel a little bit foggy. So you are being encouraged to hold off on any kind of agreements or contracts, both because the sun is trying to find a balance between what it wants, who it is, you as your core, your personality, and your dreams. Like, what can I realistically bring into being? So with this 2 of Pentacles, give yourself some time to write a list. Write a list of everything that you want to accomplish and maybe some of the things that your heart really isn't into anymore, that it's time to use this beautiful energy to release and let go of so that you have room for the new dreams that you're calling in with this eclipse. Okay, so Wednesday. Wednesday, the moon is in Scorpio. So you might find yourself a little bit more intense, a little bit more focused, a little bit more compelled to do certain things. I want to encourage you on Wednesday, use that as a really deep focus day. If you've got something you need to work on, if you're looking for clarity around a topic, do that on Wednesday. And how to make the most of that energy, two things come out. The first thing is recognize your expertise, how much you know and how much you've learned. Yes, there's more that you want to learn and study, always going for those certifications. These are kind of like her accomplishments, wonderful student who has learned so much, but she's really, there's that desire to learn, to go deeper, but take a moment to pause and realize how much you know and take that knowledge and plant it. Plant the seed of a dream, the future potential. This is a great day on Wednesday to go deep into the research, to allow yourself to do the work, but then at the same time, take some kind of, when I say take some kind of action, what I mean is when we're always searching and striving to find the answers, sometimes we hesitate to say, you know what, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to plant the seed. I'm going to take action. I'm going to put my hat in the ring. Think of it like this. If you had an opportunity for a speaking gig or for a promotion and you're like, oh, but I just don't tick off all the boxes. They want a couple more things. That would be the situation where it's like on Wednesday, you say, listen, I may not have the certification in this yet or the degree, but I know that I can do this. I'm working towards this. Like, I know I can do this job. I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I've done that so many times in life, and it's so exciting to see how it's worked out. Don't hold back just because you may not be able to say, oh, yeah, I could check off all the boxes of what they're looking for. This is a day to use your passion and your intensity to help you go for the dream. Because that's one of the themes that I really found as I was tuning into the energy of this week is that it is a turning point. It's like, are we going to go for the dream? The world might tell us it's impossible, that's silly, how are you going to do it? But this energy of the Virgo moon is saying, listen, I'm actually going to sit down and figure out how I'm going to do this. But I have to be able to visualize it. I have to be able to figure out what I need to walk away from. What is really a balanced approach so that I don't lose myself in the pursuit of this dream? And then what kind of intensity and focus and courage and passion do I need to actually make this dream a reality? Because when you think about creating and manifesting, a lot of people, fizzle out along the way. They run out of energy. They run out of juice. They just can't make it to the finish line. So what do you need in order to cross the finish line strong? Very, very interesting. Okay, Friday. Did I skip Thursday? I feel like I skipped Thursday. Scorpio moons are intense, man. I have learned that I get really very deep in the work I do. So let's go back to Thursday. Thursday, the moon's still in Scorpio. And with that Scorpio moon, that's really the biggest thing happening on Thursday. So how can you make the most of that? Okay, I'm going to pull another card. So tell me more about this one that I just pulled. Fantastic. Okay, so the first card that I pulled was the Tower card. Now, when we get the Tower card, this is when the truth is exposed. I get goosebumps. So Scorpio is about uncovering the truth. So you might find either something about yourself or about the situation that you realize, wow, this is where the sabotage was happening, either self-sabotage or something outside of myself that was blocking me from reaching my dream or my potential. This might be the moment where, you've been working so hard at work and you've been, doing everything you can to get the promotion. And then the person who gets the promotion, you find out, oh, it's because there's an inside connection. And it really wasn't even about the work to begin with. But you get that revelation. So with that revelation, what comes is that ability to start to see the truth. The Eight of Swords are the lies that we tell ourselves. It's the things that keep us bound. It's the words that keep us trapped. So on Thursday, take some time. I would really encourage you, if you can, to unplug from the world a little bit. If you can get near a body of water, like go for a walk along the river or a lake, or take a long bath, or just make time for a shower that day. give yourself some time to do a water practice where you're just, especially if you can kind of float. We're getting towards the end of swimming season here in the Northern Hemisphere, but where you can just feel held by the water and soothe your nerves, soothe your soul. With that Scorpio energy, what's coming is that ability to say, I'm going to be okay. And I would encourage you to lean into that affirmation. And before I say the affirmation, here's why I say telling yourself, I'm going to be okay. The Scorpio energy is resourceful. And when you know the truth, you have much greater impact than if you're stuck in confusion or gaslighting or, being gaslit or somebody trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Now you know the truth. And with the truth, you can take action. And if I say, what do we need to know about taking the action? So incredible. The moon card comes up. This is trust your intuition. There's a lot of noise out there, a lot of rhetoric, a lot of distractions. But by going within, you'll discover the truth and the answers. This is really encouraging you step away on Thursday. Thursday, if you can take that time just for yourself, quiet, retreat in the sense of feed your spirit, gather the energy you need to create the dreams that have been planted in your heart. Okay, going into Friday. So Friday's still in that Scorpio moon energy, and the moon does go void, of course, 1:44 p.m., so later in the day, and this is Eastern time, so adjust for your time zone. How can you make the most of that Friday energy? I'm just seeing who comes out. Okay, Knight of Pentacles. You're playing the long game, so you're planting for the future. The deep healing work that you do on Thursday, that ability to uncover the truth and sit with it, is going to enable you on Friday to come back out and have clarity and discernment about where you're investing your resources on the next part of the adventure. This particular night, he's out there and he's barefoot. So that means he's moving slowly. He's not running super fast. He's got to be mindful of where he's placing his feet because he doesn't want to step on something sharp. So he's moving slowly. He's not on his horse. He's also looking around. He's not, head down, just going for it, kind of like the Knight of Swords off to the rescue. But he's discerning. He's cautious. He's looking around like, I'm going to make these investments and I'm going to be discerning. I'm going to be aware. I'm going to be intentional and mindful. I'm playing the long game. So this week, as you're going into it, there's a recognition and realization that even though we are on a turning point, it's not about, how do I want to say, looking for the quick win or the shortcut. It's about knowing that you're planting something for the future. You're playing the long game. You're realizing that the things you shift now are going to compound and create the opportunities in the future. It's kind of like that wonderful phrase, luck is where preparation and opportunity meet. So when we're prepared, and the opportunity presents itself, we can jump on it and everybody else looks and they're like, oh my God, that was so lucky. But they don't realize the work that the person's been doing in order to prepare and practice and to be alert and aware for when the opportunities show up, and then the courage to take the action on it. So think of this week kind of like that. How can you prepare? The beginning of the week, Monday, that Libra energy, find your balance. Where have you been giving yourself away too much? What is it time to walk away from? To go into those deep healing moments to look and uncover the truth. And to do the healing practices. And if you're looking for more specific healing practices, drop a little heart and we'll connect and chat. I've got a lot of different resources I can send you to. Okay, let's wrap up the week. Saturday, the moon is in Sagittarius. It's going to feel lighter. It's going to feel more optimistic, more playful. You might even want to get outside. Like, it's been a heavy week. I just need to get out. I need to play. I need some freedom. And if we just tune in and we ask, how can you make the most of that Friday energy? 7 of Pentacles, tend to what you've planted. So the 7 of Pentacles is saying it is time now to pour energy into the seeds, into the dreams that you have in motion. Don't try to start something brand new or look for the next shiny object or opportunity. Focus on what you're already doing. Build into that. 7 of Pentacles is really a powerful card because the 7 is a very spiritual card. It comes right before the prosperity and abundance. So there's this faith. And Sagittarian energy, and that moon in Sagittarius, builds into the faith. It's like, what do you believe? So if you get a moment to do that deeper work earlier on in the week, like uncovering the truths, doing the healing work, even if it's like a beautiful bath ritual where you're like, okay, I'm going to do Epsom salt bath and help release and heal some of these deeper hurts. By doing that, you can really tune in to say, you know what? I have a dream in my heart and it wasn't dropped there just by happenstance. If I show up, if I tend to that dream, if I pay attention to the intuitive nudges and hints, then I'm going to believe, I'm going to trust, I'm going to have faith that something will come of it. And that affirmation that I almost forgot to share, beautiful Louise Hay one, all is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Whatever comes of this situation will be good. I am safe. And it's beautiful. And if you say that to yourself, your subconscious will hear you and it'll start to believe you. And it'll get you out of that fight or flight state where sometimes when we're in that fight or flight moment, we're making choices and decisions that are not rational or logical. And we look back and we think, oh my God, I got myself into an even bigger mess. How did I do that? Go to the affirmations. Do the grounding practices, do the spiritual practices. They make a difference. So Saturday, great day for play, great day for getting out there, creative inspiration. And then Sunday, moon still in Sagittarius, so you still have that playfulness. It's a great day for visioning or imagining as well. And we're going to just say or ask, how can you make the most of that Sunday energy? Enjoy what you have built, the fruits of your labor. Sometimes we work so hard working towards the next thing that we're trying to build that we don't get a chance to enjoy how far we've already come. So Sunday, give yourself a chance, an opportunity to enjoy, to really just, I always kind of laugh because, and I know I get this from my mom, but you just get so busy with life and you're working so hard and you're doing all the things and you're taking care of everyone. And you're like, oh my God, I never got a chance to really sit in my backyard and enjoy it, or sit on a front porch, or to enjoy this dining room table that I waited decades and decades for, to just be able to sit and to look at it. We work so hard. You're working so hard. You're doing so much. Sunday, even if it's just for an hour, give yourself a moment to enjoy something that has come because of your efforts. It really can make a huge difference. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of this energy experiment today. These are always the days where I'm like, oh my God, I need to just hit stop and re-record. That's why I like doing them live too. What you're getting is very raw, very honest. You're seeing me in all walks of life, because I'm another human as well, spiritual being having a human experience, but we have things that happen, right? Our kids text us last minute. Mom, I've got the project today. You need to send me the pictures. Oh my God, before noon. You're like, okay. You get the last minute phone call from, your dad's doctor asking all these questions, So these things, they happen, right? It's not an excuse. I share kind of a little bit of the background because I'm just like you, life is happening. We're all in different paths, it's all different for each of us. It's not exactly the same. But if we can connect heart to heart and we can keep that humanness and that understanding of, just like that iceberg analogy, we only see the tip of someone's life. There's so much more going on underneath. And it's not always the time or place to share it with the whole world. But if we have these human experiences where you're like, oh, okay, Irina is just crazy pants today. What does she do? How does she handle it? Come back to my practices. And I'm so in gratitude for all of you walking through this with me and being a beautiful inspiration and that reminder of, okay, even if we're doing something, we can take a moment to pause. If you're out in public, if you're trying to make a presentation at work or to friends or meeting someone new for the first time and you're nervous, you can do little things like bring your thumb and ring fingertip together. Take deeper belly breaths. Things like that, people aren't going to notice, and it gives you a chance to ground When you were grounded, you were present. And when you're present, you're discerning. And the distractions, the discombobulation, the worries, they fade to the background. Doesn't mean you're not going to handle them or attend to them, but not right now in the present moment. Something else is needing your attention. So thank you all for being here with me today. I hope you have an incredible week. It is a very potent and powerful week for you to dive into things. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments. I love to hear from you, especially how the energy is treating you. Part of my goal and mission in this lifetime is to help bring sacred practices and spiritual practices to you to help you step into the life you were born to live. So thanks for being here. I will catch you all next week, 9:30 a.m. live, upside down, downside up. And thanks for being here. So much love to you. Oh, and hey, if this has been helpful, I don't know if I should say like, share, subscribe, because I'm almost like, oh, not this one. All right. Much love. Have a great day. Bye-bye.